If you click today's video, you want to learn a little bit more about how progress actually feels in life. And as a Christian life coach, I see up close and personal, walking with mostly women one-on-one, what progress looks in their life and what it's looked like in my life. And I can tell you, progress does not look like these sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies that we see in movies or on social media. On social media, it's like the girl or guy graduates college, they get their dream job, then they meet their dream spouse, and then they have kids and they live happily ever after, and the world is beautiful. And if you've been alive for like 5 minutes, you understand life is just not that simple. Progress, especially the progress that is most meaningful, does not look like these big moments in our life. The most impactful progress that I see in my clients' lives are not landing the new job. They aren't finally getting into the new relationship. They aren't moving to the new city or going on the dream vacation. None of those things are the progress that I see that actually makes the difference in somebody's life. The progress that I see and that I've seen in my own life is the progress that hurts. It hurts. The progress that is stretching, the progress that feels incredibly lonely. And if you are really going through a season or a time in your life of progressing from one place to another, then you know it can feel extremely isolating. A lot of the fruit or reward or joy that we experience for the progress does not come in that moment. It comes far later as we look back and see, oh, that's what God was doing in my life in that time. That's what was going on. That's why I was experiencing these things. I want to tell you, progress is hard. Progress isn't easy. Progress is painful. And that is why so many people do not do it. So if you're just here and you're listening, then I commend you, because you are already doing something more powerful than what most people are doing. Because so many of us just succumb to the weight of the world. We succumb to the horrible things that we've been through in our life, to all of the negativity in the world, to the politics, the news cycle, and we just get by. I get it. Life is hard and really, really hard things are thrown our way. What I don't want for you is to stay in that place. And the fact that you're here, the fact that you're listening to this video tells me that you're not, because you are interested in progress. You're maybe feeling progress. You're maybe walking through it and you want a little help. You want a little guidance. In today's video, I'm going to give you actionable steps on how to continue to move through this season and then get to the place where you can look back and you are so proud of the person you have become, because the progress that we're going to talk about today will drastically change the course of your life. And I do not say that lightly. The progress we are going to talk about today will change everything for you. It will change your career. It will change your relationships. It will change your family dynamics. It'll change how you show up for yourself, how you view yourself. It'll change your dreams and your goals and your desires. It is that impactful and that powerful. But getting all of those things are the byproduct of the progress. And that is what I want you to understand today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is recognizing you need progress, that you need help. That is really difficult because we don't like to see ourselves in a negative light. It can really hurt our feelings, especially when someone tells us, hey, I think that you were a little too emotional when that happened. Hey, I think that you kind of blew that out of proportion. Hey, I didn't mean something negative when I said this to you. Maybe you're just being a little sensitive. When people say those things to us, it's like, oh, how dare you? How dare you say that? How dare you do it? But the fact of the matter is, sometimes there could be truth in those things. And we don't like to face it because that's hard and it's ugly and it's painful. And we have to admit that maybe we've done something wrong in our life. The hardest thing to do is look back on burnt relationships or jobs or different things that have happened to you in your life and take ownership and responsibility, because it's a lot easier to just say, that was all their fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It protects us. That is our mind. It's our brain's way of protecting us. And sometimes I just want to tell this guy, stop trying to protect me, okay? I need to learn. We all need to learn. And so that's the first step. Learning when you need help and learning when it's time to have progress. Here's an easy way to identify that. Sometimes you have to make a decision that will hurt your heart, but it will heal your soul. If there are things that have been repeatedly told to you by your spouse, by a romantic relationship, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or a friend, whatever it is, maybe they're telling you that you're overly sensitive or you are pessimistic and you've just been shoving that down. Sometimes you have to make a decision to look at your life and where those coping mechanisms came from, and it will hurt your heart. It is hard to go back through your life and think about, well, I picked up this pessimism because I was bullied in middle school or I was bullied in high school. And it just became easier for me to think that everybody was just out to get me. And it hurts my heart to have to think back and relive some of those memories to understand the message that I developed about myself from it, the emotion that came with that message, and then the behavior that I adopted from that event. And by doing that thing, it hurts. It hurts to confront those things. It hurts to confront situations that maybe we had something to do with. Maybe it was the loss of a friendship, and it hurts your heart to think back on that friend and the things that happened. But maybe there's some responsibility you need to take, and it hurts your heart to have to do that. But all of these things will heal your soul. It will heal your soul, which is going to impact your life going forward. It isn't fun to take responsibility for the things that you've done in your life. But what I can tell you is that it's going to help you grow into a person who is stronger, who is more empathetic, who is compassionate, who is loyal, who is trustworthy, who is brave and confident. I don't know if I already said that one. Courageous. And it hurts the heart, hurts our emotions to have to relive and to process some of these things, but it heals our soul. So if there's something and you're listening to this video and you know there's an area in your life that you know needs some work, don't beat yourself up over it, okay? Understand that it takes time to heal these things, to process through these things. If you would like to work with a coach one-on-one, I'll link my email on the screen. You can email me there, and I'll also link a link to book a free discovery call down below. But if you're walking through this, give yourself some grace. What I work through with my clients is we walk through every negative memory from 0 to 18 in their life and then think through again the messaging, the emotion, and the behavior they had from those events. And we can start to piece together a little bit of how we have gotten to where they are in life, how they've gotten to how they respond today, their triggers, how they feel about certain things, how they respond to events, the messages they have about themselves in their head. It helps to give us a little bit of data on how they respond today so that we can change that going forward. And I would encourage you to do that. The first step of progress is taking inventory of what's gone on in your life and the areas that maybe you need a little progress in, and focus on one thing at a time, okay? Step 2, progress is painful and it is hard because once you've recognized these patterns, and maybe you've already started that, you're like, I'm already doing work point 1, and I'm in the section now of life where I have implemented, I've seen the patterns, I've seen my responses, and I'm changing those things. I'm trying to rewire my subconscious mind to think better things, to think better thoughts about myself, about other people. And you feel really lonely in that journey because you feel like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I think this way. How on earth would other people think about me or know, if they knew that I had these kinds of thoughts? So part of progress is wisdom. And one of my favorite chapters in the Bible is Proverbs 8. And I'm going to read you guys a couple verses out of there now. And starting in verse 1 of the New King James Version, it says, "Does not wisdom cry out? Cry loud out, and understanding lift up her voice." So Both of these things have to do with progress in our life is seeking wisdom. And so wisdom cries out. So this is something we can hear, right? Sometimes wisdom seems like this ethereal concept that we have to go searching and digging through these treasure boxes for. But she's crying out. Understanding lifts up her voice for all to hear. She takes her stand on the top of the high hill. Hi, here I am, all the way at the top of the hill, where everybody can see me. Okay? Beside the way where the paths meet. She cries out by the gates at the entry of the city. Again, at the place where everybody is, the entrance of the city. It's somewhere where people are coming and going. There could be a market there where everybody are going. The common people, okay? You don't have to be rich. We're at the entrance of the city. Anybody can be there. There's wisdom. There's understanding. She cries out by the gates at the entry of the city, at the entrance of the doors. To you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O you simple ones, understand prudence, and you fools, be of an understanding heart. I'm going to go down to verses 12 through 21, which say, I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge and discretion. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance in the evil way, and the perverse mouth I hate. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. By me kings reign and rulers decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles and all the judges of the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. Another really important part. If you're diligently seeking to become a better version of yourself, if you're willing to look at yourself and take some self-responsibility for the things that are going on in your life, the last thing we want is this woe is me mentality. My boss hates me, my parents hate me, my friends are horrible, my health sucks, nothing I can do about any of it. I'm just the victim to all of these things in my life. Again, it's our brain trying to protect us from pain, but we have to get to the place where, although it hurts, we start taking self-responsibility. So we've heard of prudence a few times just within Proverbs 8. And prudence is self-control and good judgment. And again, this is why progress is hard. It isn't this glamorized thing that you see on social media, because what you see is the highlight reel, which everybody knows. And again, it's like, oh my God, they got that job promotion. Oh, here they go. They met the love of their life and I can't accomplish anything. And we think of progress as those moments, but again, they're the outcomes of putting in the work. The work is what progress is. And so it's hard. No one wants to sit around all the time and have self-control and good judgment. But the Bible says where those two things are, wisdom will be found. A life given to impulse and extremes will not gain, appreciate, or display wisdom. That's from Enduring Word. Going down to where it says, I love those who love me. Those who love, those who pursue wisdom will find themselves rewarded. And this is the antithesis to a lot of the things that you're going to see in the world today, which is put yourself first and don't care about anybody else and sleep around and go out and get drunk with your friends and do whatever you want. But those who love wisdom and prudence, which is self-control and good judgment, there they will be rewarded. They will find wisdom in the blessings wisdom brings. So when we talk about the tension within this time, the tension within progress, this is what we're talking about. Choosing to wake up each day and have self-control and good judgment. Choosing each day to look for wisdom on her high hill, standing at the city gates. I mean, again, these are places that we all frequent. So wisdom is there, and we just have to be aware and be cognizant of wisdom and good judgment. Sometimes that's not the decisions that we want to make, but doing those things helps us progress, helps us move forward in life. So again, this is why progress is so hard. This is why it is not easy. I can tell you that just personally in my life, when I look back at who I was, the kinds of things, that I did when I was in college versus, who I am now, I was not exercising good judgment then. And it reflected in my life. And now seeking wisdom, seeking good judgment for myself, because I'm married. I'm a married woman. Okay, I want to walk in wisdom. And so does my husband. And you want to be the best version of yourself for yourself. And you also want to be that for your spouse as well. I can see the fruit of that so much more in my life. And not necessarily in the wealth way, although I do think that when you have good judgment, that you make good financial decisions, that you make good decisions that then pay dividends down the road. I mean, when we just seek wealth, then we become corrupted. But when we seek wisdom, then we make good decisions that are then rewarded because we did the right thing, not in a sense of prosperity gospel, but hey, I made a good decision about a job, about a career, and that's in turn going to help me down the road make a better income. As I look at my life now, and as I walk through clients' lives, it is how can we make better decisions and better choices, and while they may hurt, while they may be hard, they can heal the soul. And then after your soul is healed, I mean, and we're always going to be on a continual process of healing our soul, but deeply healed of a lot of childhood internal wounds, then we're start to see wisdom. We start to see good judgment. It becomes a lot easier of a decision to make, and then you'll be rewarded with that, with the fruit of your life. So the last thing that I want to say on step number 2, or point number 2, which is that you might not feel it. Sometimes progress feels like nothing. Each day when you wake up and you have that negative thought about yourself and you choose to take that thought captive, which I talk about in depth in a lot of other videos on my page that you can look at. But when you choose to do that hard work in those simple and small moments every day, those moments are progress. Those moments are a step forward. And so for a while, it's going to feel like nothing's changed. And then you're going to be in another stressful situation like you would have been before, and you notice that you respond differently. And you notice the work is working. Or you notice yourself putting yourself out there a little bit more. You notice yourself becoming more confident in social settings. And that is when all of the mundane, all of the moments where progress felt like nothing, all of the moments where progress was stretching, is when you start to feel a joy. You really start to feel a contentment within yourself, within your setting, within your specific life situation. You find a contentment. And when progress gets to the point of contentment, and not a complacency, because that's something else, but contentment. I'm content in who God created me to be. I'm content in where I am at in this moment, knowing that God's directing my steps, and then I'm working hard to get to where I want to go, but I'm trusting Him to open those doors. And that becomes joyful. That becomes a reward. And that is when progress feels like a reward. And so I encourage you that whether you're on step 0 and you want to start step 1, whether you're on step 1 or step 2, that when you get to step 3, when progress starts to feel like a reward, feels like a joy, that you're seeing the work working for you, and then you're motivated. At that point, when you see how much your mental health is improved, and you see how much your spiritual health is improved, and even your physical health, when you see how much all of those things have been impacted by that daily, day-to-day work, you're motivated to continue to keep going. Progress is really, really hard when we don't see any fruit of it in our life. But when we start going, and that situation arises and we respond better and we see how much we've grown, we want to keep doing those things. We want to keep doing the work. And so all of those that to say, progress can feel like a lot of different emotions at a lot of different stages. And you might feel like you're on step 3 in progress in your emotional health, but maybe progress in your career, in your dreams of where you want to go, your confidence to step into those things, maybe that's still on 1. There's a lot of different areas in our life that we progress in, that we have to build up character and strength to endure. And it takes time. And focus on where you're at and be proud of yourself. Reflect, keep a journal, and write down all of the areas that you're growing. And think about, and that's why I love when we talk about memorial stones in the Bible, because it reminds us of all the things that God did. Memorial stones at the Red Sea, reminding them, the Israelites, of how God delivered them out of Egypt. Keep those memorial stones for yourself in your life. Wake up every day and think about how you're grateful for the progress and how God is showing up for you within that in your day-to-day life. And I promise you, as you implement these things, you will see such drastic changes in your life. As you become more confident and compassionate and empathetic and stronger within yourself, every single area of your life will then start to see the ripple effects. So what we talked about before, when you go on social media and you see they got their new job, they met the perfect spouse for them, they got their dream home, and they moved to a new city, or they went on that dream vacation. Those things are the ripple effects. So focus on the hard work. Progress is hard. It is stretching. And you will experience those ripple effects. And when that happens, you will be so proud of yourself and grateful for all of the mundane moments that led you to that point. I hope today's video has helped to give you a little bit of guidance and understanding that if you're feeling those things, you're not alone. That you're not the only person out there who feels like progress is stretching and it's hard, and that it is not just some easy, beautiful thing. And if you would like to know a little bit more about my services again, I will link them down below. But honestly, working with a coach one-on-one, I believe, is something that truly was impactful for my life to help me get to where I am today. And I believe that it is something that can help you break free from some of those negative strongholds that have been keeping you down and back in your life. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.